We are upstate, beautiful, beautiful upstate New York. Found a terrific body of water. You have people, they have their boats over there. Um, as you see, I don't know if you guys can see it yet, but maybe it's not in the view of the camera just yet, but there's someone sailing a nice boat right there. I seen someone pull up and they put their boat here, and this is the lifestyle right here. This is freedom, and this is peace, and there's nobody, absolutely nobody up here popping at each other, right? And you have people with their families over there. You have other people there, they with their families over there, and it's absolutely peaceful. Um, you know, what more can you really ask for? But I had a discussion last night with a lot, with quite a bit of people. Quite a number of people were in here last night, and we had an open discussion. And to be completely honest with you, even though the numbers did well, I was a bit disappointed, to be completely honest with you, in terms of Whoopi says better background every video. Thank you, Whoopi. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I was a little bit disappointed yesterday because we had a poll up, right? And we had quite a bit of people vote, right? There was an excess of 200 people that voted on that poll, right? I want to say maybe 250, in excess of 250 for sure, right? I didn't revisit it at the very end, but it was definitely in excess of 250, 260, right? I think the last time I checked was probably like 264. But it was around 57% of people that don't think that we need gun control, despite everything that's been happening right across the nation. There's that boat. It's right there. See that little sailor's boat? That's the boat that we used to make in elementary school. We used to make that same boat right there. Look, see that boat? That's the elementary school boat right there. Right there. But yeah, 57, maybe 57, 58% of people. It was definitely above 57% the last time that I checked. 57% of people in the chat last night that voted, out of the 57%, out of that 264, which I believe was the final number when I viewed, 57% of the people said that we do not need gun control. And I thought about it. And I was thinking to myself, well, is it something that did I word it wrong? Did I use gun control? Is gun control such a negative thing to really say? Is it such a bad thing to say gun control, right? And then you realize it goes deeper than just gun control. Of course it does. Of course it does. It starts with a little bit of self-control, right? It starts with a lot of self-control, right? And I think when we talk about being spiritual people, it's not about being holier than thou. It's not that you don't have the same emotions as everyone else, right? It's not that you're not having this human experience, right? It's not spiritual elitism by any way, shape, or form, right? It's about the level of self-control that you have, and that's what makes you a man, right? When you're a boy, when you're a kid, you realize kids, they throw tantrums, they have self-control. So I posed this question to you guys because I was thinking I had a long drive, right, in excess of an hour to get to this location where we are, this beautiful, beautiful location, upstate New York with the mountains in the back, just a terrific view, right? I just wanted to give you guys this view as a token of my appreciation for you guys supporting the channel. But I'm going to ask you this question, guys. I'm going to ask you this question. If you guys had a child, right, at any given point you had a child, right? The child goes and the child finds a stick. And the child is just going around. Doesn't really know any better, but is just swinging the stick, hitting kids, poking people's eyes out, all of that sort of stuff. Would you or would you not take the stick away from the child, right? And the next time you see the child with the stick, right, would you not do the same? Would you not do the same? Now, I must say this as well, guys. It is a bit windy, right? So if the camera falls, I'm just going to catch it and put it back up because the tripod is like, it's suspended on a bench, and the bench is like, it's really slippery. But yeah, if you had a child and the child was going around and poking people with that stick, would you not take the stick away from that child? Would you not take the stick away from the child that's going around poking people with the stick, hurting other people, causing a whole bunch of chaos, right? So that's my whole thing. If we lack self-control, right, as a unit, right, if we lack self-control, then maybe we need a little motivation to have self-control. Maybe we should realize that if we don't want the same thing to happen to us, that we shouldn't do it to other people. If it's not good enough to be done to us, then it's not good enough for us to be doing it to other people either, right? So there's a lesson in self-control that we need to learn as a nation, as a unit of mankind, right? So, like I said, I was really disappointed, right? But I should have known this is America after all, right? This is America. And it's that same mentality that keeps these things happening over and over and over again. And people think to themselves, oh, because it hasn't happened to anybody that I love, it doesn't matter, right? Oh, it's just way over there in Georgia. Oh, it's just way over there in what's that place? I'm sorry, Maryland. Was it Maryland? Yes, right? Or it's just way over there in Kentucky. But all of these things have happened in the space of a few days. Not even it's 3 days apart, pretty much, right? We had one situation happen in Georgia. That was Wednesday. The next situation that happened in Maryland, right? That was Thursday. No, that was Friday. And then the last situation that happened was yesterday. And they still haven't found the guy yet. But let me take a look at some of the chat to see what you guys are saying about this. Better background every video. Clean view, says Alex Cruz. Big up yourself. Thank you everyone for tuning in and tapping in. I appreciate you guys. Latitude and longitude. Just in case you want to visit, this is a nice lake. Someone put up the latitude and longitude. I will tell you guys exactly where we are once we leave. I'm not entirely sure what that guy is talking about, but if he put up that latitude and longitude, I am not actually really there. I'm looking. I'm gonna make sure I don't get any ticket because I do see people creeping around. So let me just make sure I'm not gonna get any ticket. You know, because the parking lot's not too far from here, so I am looking at the same time, right? Because I don't really know the parking rules up here, and I've already got a few tickets that I need to take care of and rectify. But yeah, remember me? Well, I can't read your name, but I remember you're from Japan. So big up to everybody that's in Japan that's tuning in and tapping in. Make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel as well. All of your support really, really helps. It helps me to be able, and it motivates me to go to these really nice places that I am going to let you guys know exactly where it is that I was once I leave here, right? I'm not going to tell you guys where I am while I'm here. But once I leave here, if you guys do want to visit, I will tell you guys precisely where it is that I am at the current moment. As you guys can hear, there's a train not too far from here. The train is probably going to make some noise, right? I'm not sure if you guys hear the noise or how loud it sounds, but there's a train right there. And I'm gonna allow the train to pass, and I'm gonna let you guys just take a look at this view for a little bit. All right. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. All right. The train is still passing, but let's get back to some of the chat to see what you guys have to say. And as a matter of fact, I think we need to run a poll again because I really want to understand the train of thought. Is gun control a bad thing? I want to know what you guys think about this one right here. So I'm going to pose this question again. I'm going to pose a different question, a different version of that question. Is gun control a negative thing? Is gun control a negative thing? What's up, says Ron Dobbins. I'm doing good, Ron. How are you? How are you, my guy? I'm doing well. How are you? Everyone give the video a thumbs up. Yeah, actually, I definitely agree with that. Do give the video a thumbs up. If you're tapping into what it is that we're doing, give the video a thumbs up. Let me see what else we got saying. Where's that at? It's so nice. Where I am right now, it looks like ish. What's up, man? Big up. Someone says, where I am right now looks like ish. Now, listen. Be grateful for wherever it is that you are. It took me about an hour and some change, right? Because I actually was going to start filming in a completely different location. But when I got to that location, I was like, nah. So I actually stumbled across this location. I may have been here once before. Maybe not at this exact point or at this exact location, but I may have been here or close by before. But yeah, I'll tell you guys once I leave exactly where I was. But while I'm here, I'm not going to tell nobody where I'm at, right? But once I leave, I will let you guys know if you do want to pull up here at some point. But we are in upstate New York. Sorry guys, this is a huge train. It's a big ass train. I'm not gonna lie to you. This train is huge. It's still going. Trenton says, how are you? I'm doing great. Outfish Ontario says, are you fishing? I am not fishing, although that is not a bad idea. That is definitely not a bad idea, especially in a beautiful Hudson like we got right here. That's definitely not a bad idea at all. But nah, I'm not fishing today. Is gun control a bad thing? So since we put it up, we had 7 people vote. So let's take a look. So 71% of people says yes. And out of the 7 says gun control is a bad thing. 71% of people. So I'm really trying to wrap my brain around exactly what the thought process is with everybody. I'm trying to wrap my brain around this. But so Danny MD says guns are not a problem, but seeing what they do as a combat vet, a lot of people having gun is a bad thing. I'm not American, so I don't care, but guns change lives to the negative. Listen, man, just because you're not American doesn't mean, you can't have like empathy for people that have been going through certain situations, right? So I don't know exactly where you are. Big up yourself. Thank you so much for viewing the video. But just because you're somewhere in a completely different place doesn't mean you could have that. I mean, listen, with all due respect, right? I'm not telling you how to feel or anything like that. But if something similar to this happened over in the Philippines, maybe it doesn't impact me exactly directly, right? But at the same time, I could still have empathy as a human being that, all right, cool, even though I'm not over there, there's still people over there that are feeling some sort of pain. So even if you're not going to come over here and help, I don't know, man, just try not to be too insensitive because, yeah, there are people that actually lost their lives. There are kids that lost their lives. So that's just one of those things, man. I'm not telling you how to feel or anything like that. But I think we could do a little bit better in that regard as human beings in terms of having empathy towards one another. I don't think that's that negative of a stretch. But I do understand what it is that you're saying in terms of it can impact people in a negative way. Yes, it can, right? So it's just like it's just like what I was saying earlier. If I had a kid, if I had a kid, right, and my kid is going around poking people in the eye with a stick, do I then at some point decide, all right, cool, well, this kid doesn't have enough control over themselves yet, so let me go ahead and take the stick away because they're gonna hurt somebody? Do I not take that stick away? If the kid is going around poking people with the stick and hurting other people, do I not take the stick away from the kid and have a discussion with the kid about the consequences of what it is that they're doing? Right? So it's not saying, hey guys, no one should have weapons. I mean, we're not saying no one should have their guns. That's not what we're saying at all, right? We're just saying it's too easily accessible to people. It's too easily accessible to a 14-year-old to have guns, right? Let's start there. It's too easily accessible for a 14-year-old to be given an assault rifle, right, to go do what it is that they did. It's far too easy for them to get that, right? So that's my whole thing. I was hoping you guys could see it from that perspective before it's something that happens in your front or backyard, right? Let's not be so desensitized as a people, right? Because this is what kind of keeps the cycle going over and over and over. Because it's like we're desensitized because it's not happening directly to us. Don't wait until it happens directly to you, right? For you to take the necessary and the right steps and the right precaution, right? So it's just one of those things. If you're going around doing dumb shit to people, right? You're going around smoking people, right? Then yeah, absolutely. Take it away from them. Take the privilege away from them, right? Because it's not even as if you had a dispute with someone, right? You're over here slapping bullets at random people on the highway and on I-75 in Kentucky, right? You're over here slapping bullets at students and teachers at school. You understand what it is that I'm saying? So guys, I can't understand how people don't understand how dangerous that is. I really don't understand that. Is it dangerous? Absolutely, it's dangerous. It's dangerous, plain and simple, right? A gun doesn't make you a man. It doesn't. It doesn't. And again, I'm not saying you shouldn't be able to protect yourself and that you shouldn't have weapons. But if you have enough self-control that you're not gonna, every time you get upset, you're gonna grab the stick and go, pump shots at somebody just because you're upset, just because your delicate little ego is affected by it, right? Because you don't have enough self-control to be like, all right, cool. Well, you know what? We're just gonna chalk it up to the game. So it's just one of those things, man. Let me see what else you guys are saying. All right, Danny says, I have empathy for people, but your laws is none of my business. But yes, my honest opinion is I think America should get rid of guns. I think it'll be very difficult to just completely get rid of guns. I think it would be a very difficult thing. But to have control over who has access to guns, I think that's something that we definitely need to be working on as a people, right? So if people are displaying that they have certain mental issues, that they're emotionally unstable, we probably shouldn't put the weapons in their hand, right? Somebody posed this question last night, and they asked this question, and they were like, oh, they alluded to this, right? I don't remember verbatim what they said, right? But what they were saying is, just because a few minorities or a few people, not minorities in terms of color or anything like that, but just in terms of population, because a few people are doing bad with guns, does that mean the rest of us who have guns should suffer for it? And I said this to him, right? Again, not verbatim, but this is what I was alluding to, all right? So if you look at it from this perspective, how many people does it need these days, right? If you add a switch, if you add a switch to a gun, right? Or if it's an automatic weapon, right? An assault rifle, right? How many people does it really take to come and just wipe out 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 people? It only takes it only takes one person to do that. You understand what I'm saying? So that in itself is not a great argument. Imagine the damage that 5 people could do. And that would be a minority. Right? And again, not minority in terms of what people look like on the outside, but we're talking about in terms of the population, right? We had 10 people, that could be even more catastrophic. So you get what it is that I'm saying? So even though it's just a few people that are doing these things, right? Those are the people that we don't need to be having access to these weapons, right? Those are the people that we don't need to be having access to these weapons. You know what I mean? And yeah, 26 votes. Let's see what the voting. So 58% of people say, is gun control a bad thing? 58% of people say yes, it's a bad thing. Most of the people that are voting are probably in America. It's crazy. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. This guy says ban dirt bikes. Okay. Says my cousin almost died on a dirt bike. Ban dirt bikes. Yeah, ban dirt bikes for real. See, again, you guys are comparing things that are just two completely different, separate things, right? Dirt bikes are used for transportation, right? Dirt bikes could transfer goods. Dirt bike could transfer people from one place to another. Bullets ain't transferring nobody nowhere, right? If anything, it's going to transfer you from here to the hospital, or it's going to transfer you from here to the graveyard, or it's going to transfer you out of this dimension and into the skies, right? So for you to be comparing vehicles with guns It's a stupid argument. And somebody did it again. The same person did the same thing last night. Not you per se, but someone did the same thing. And the same person that from the last question of what it is that I was talking about, that same person asked that made that same comparison last night, but he was talking about with cars, right? But we understand, yeah, we do have control, right? Because, okay, another train's coming by, guys. Another train's coming by. Sorry about that. And these trains tend to... another one of these big ass trains. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yeah. So, do we have control over vehicles? That's in some ways, yes, we do. Right? There are vehicle controls. Right? There absolutely are. We have speed limits. Right? That's a form of control. And it's not to say it's not about, guys. I think whenever people say, "All right, cool," And to be completely honest with you, do I speed? Yes, I do. Do I go over the speed limit? Absolutely, I do at times, right? So it's not a matter of whether I do or I don't go over the speed limit. Yes, but everything in moderation, right? I'm not going to be out here driving like a maniac when I know other people are on the road, right? When I know when I know people can be affected by whether or not it's some sort of mechanic failure or some sort of slip or some sort of dry ice or black ice or whatever. I said dry ice. Or black ice or some sort of thing that happens that could affect the way that I'm driving, right? And if I'm accelerating at such a rapid rate, that it becomes a problem for other people that are around me, right? I can't be going through city limits, going 80 miles an hour, going 90 miles an hour, going 100 miles an hour through city limits, right? Because what are they gonna do if I'm going 90, 100, 120 miles an hour through speed limits, right? They're probably going to do something about the license, right? They're probably going to do something about the license, right? So that absolutely, that's a form of, all right, cool. What I was doing in that situation was I was exercising a lack of self-control in a situation like that, right? So if I'm exercising a lack of self-control in a situation like that, then are they well within their right to say, all right, cool, well, he's being a danger to other people around him. Let's revoke his license for a few months or whatever it is, or let's do this or let's do that. You get what it is that I'm saying? So when people talk about gun control and stuff like that, I'm not saying people shouldn't have guns. Someone just came in here and say ban guns. No one said ban guns. So it just goes to show you that these people, it's like they're so extremists. They're such extremists that whenever you put control and guns or control next to these things, people tend to be like, oh, control, like rebellious kids. Again, oh, control. They want to control this. They want to control. That's not what it's about, sir. Right? That's not what it's about. It's not about, oh, yeah, ban guns. No one said ban guns, right? It's just the fact that we're using self-control and gun control, right? And people don't like those terms. People don't like the term self-control, and people don't like the term gun control, right? They don't like the terms control. But ultimately, the control starts with you. So it's about you controlling yourself first. It's not about the government controlling you. It's about you first controlling yourself. And if you're unable to control yourself, then you don't have access to this. Because you're not only a danger to yourself, but you're a danger to other people that ain't got nothing to do with what it is that you got going on inside. Right? So if you're a danger to other people around you, then yes, by all means, there should be some restrictions on what it is that you're doing in terms of the weapons that you're carrying and in terms of your access to weapons. Because you're showing that you don't have self-control. Right? We shouldn't keep having this discussion over and over and over again. It shouldn't take so many kids you know, things, negative things happening to kids and negative things happening. What happened in Nevada, Las Vegas, a number of years ago? Do we have to keep having those things happening? Does it have that happen in your city before you start thinking, man, yeah, maybe that guy's right? And it's not even a matter of being right or wrong. It's about being safe. It's about safety for you as well. It's about safety for everyone. Right? So yeah, that's what it all boils down to, guys. Let me see what else you guys got to say. I have empathy, but your laws are none of my business. Okay. As a combat veteran, I've been to the third world countries that have been taken over by a dictator, and they all ban gun ownership. You teach the kid how to use the stick, says combat. He says you teach the kid how to use the stick. Okay, all right. Listen, where that's concerned, I'm not going to argue with you about that, right? So, that's arguing semantics, right? Or for me, it's like, even if you do take the stick away from the kid, right? What happens now when you leave and you turn your back? They're going to realize, oh, okay, well, I still have the stick, so I could still do what it is that I'm doing, right? Dad's not here or mom's not here, right? So I can still do what it is that I want to do. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, all right, cool. You could show them how to use the stick, but as soon as you turn your back, what are they going to do? They're going to continue to use the stick, right? So I don't really buy that argument, to be honest with you. To be completely honest with you, I don't buy that argument. I'm not saying don't teach the kid how to use the stick, right? I'm not saying don't teach the kid, but take the stick away from the kid because they're not ready yet, right? They're not ready yet. And they've shown that they're not able, they're a danger to themselves, and they're also a danger to people around them, right? So that's it. That's it. That's it. That's all it is that we're saying. We're not saying take away people's guns. That's not what it is that we're saying, guys. We're not saying take away people's guns. We're saying people should have more control over themselves. And once you exercise control over yourself, right, then it's okay for you to, you know, you're able now to exercise control over yourself when you do have the weapon as well, right? It's about self-control. It really starts with self-control first. Self-control and then gun control. But it starts with self-control. But since we're not displaying self-control, so now there has to be some sort of control. Somebody got to step in. That's my perspective. Let me see what else you guys got to say. Hold on. Kevin Mendoza says, can a 14-year-old go out and buy a weapon? So in some cases, yes. Is it legal to do? No. But in a lot of cases, yes, because this is America. Is it or is it not? Right? Is it or is it not? Right? So the arguments that you guys are really using here, they're not really making much sense, to be honest with you. Right? A 14-year-old can absolutely get access to a weapon. Right? And to be honest with you, yes, that is a form of gun control. Is that not a form of gun control because they can't go to the store and get one? They could still get it. Sure, they could still get it, right? But they can't go to the store and get it, right? So that's one avenue blocked off. So now they got to try a different avenue in order to get their hands on it. Make sense? Hope that makes sense. Hello, everyone. I'm sorry I'm late. Asia, no need to apologize. I'm glad that you're here. You know, this beautiful view, right, is dedicated to people like you, Asia, and everyone that's been supporting the channel for such a long time, guys. I can't, from the bottom of my heart, I can't express how grateful I am for each and every single one of you to be out here supporting what it is that we're doing with this channel. We're growing at a very rapid rate, right? And none of this stuff is about being scripted or anything like that. It's just a guy talking about spirituality, just a spiritual being, just like each and every one of you, right? Having a human experience, right? And we all have different perspectives. But the thing is, we're able to come here and we're able to discuss our perspective. Like, I'm going to discuss my perspective because I'm not looking at the lake right now. You guys are. I'm looking at you guys, right? So we have different perspectives. We're not seeing the same things, right? So because of that, I'm telling you guys what I see, and you're telling me what you see. right? So it's nothing wrong with that. But at the end of the day, we got to come to some sort of common ground that makes it okay for everyone that is viewing this video or everyone that's living in this country. You know what I mean? So that's it. That's all. That's all we're saying, guys. Trenton says you make a lot of sense. Thank you so much, Trenton. I'm glad you see what it is that we're trying to say here. Hey, homie, you look like Kofi Kingston. Big up yourself. Big up yourself. Did you even read that kid's manifesto? Says Kevin Mendoza. I did not. I did not. Share some information about it. You're right, says Trenton. Thank you so much. Aromatic guns are illegal, says Corbin Dallas. Okay? But in Denmark, it's completely illegal to have a gun. But I can get one in 12 hours. Give me a week and I'll get you an RPG and a box of hand. Okay. All right, Danny. Wow. I hear you, man. I hear you. Do you believe we should get rid of the Constitution? Says Kevin Mendoza. I think there are things that we could do to improve the Constitution. No one's here saying that we should get rid of the Constitution. I don't know where exactly you get that from. It's about controlling the access that some people have towards weapons if they are hazardous to themselves and they're hazardous to the people that are around them. There's that. So it's not a matter of what it is that you're, I don't know what it is that you're alluding to. Maybe I'm assuming. But please elaborate on what it is that you mean when you're asking the question, should we get rid of the Constitution? Because I believe there's more layers to what it is that you're trying to ask right now. Danny says, I'm all in on gun control. Guns are a right, not a privilege, says Metal Corpse 2112. Okay. All right, I see your point. He says, banned breathing. I once had someone died underwater trying to breathe. He says, banned breathing. I think he's trolling right now. He's starting to troll a little bit right now. All right, cool. He says, and guns protect more lives are saved by guns than taken by them. All right, so I'm going to paint a picture to you. All right, cool. All right. And I see what you're saying. Hold on. Metal Corpse 212. Metal Corpse 2112. All right, I see what it is that you're saying, right? But I'm going to pose this to you. Look at it from this angle, right? If you and I have a disagreement, right? And if I don't know the level of disagreement that it is that you and I have, right? But I know that you have a weapon and you know that I have a weapon, right? But whatever it is that got you and I to this point where we can't see eye to eye, we have our weapons, right? Who's to say that one of us see the other one, right? Whereas maybe we would go up and maybe have a fist fight back in the day, or, maybe we would go up and, get close to the individual. Who to say, because if I don't see you and you see me, or if I see you and you don't see me, right? And we both know that we have weapons and it's on site, right? It can be more dangerous for you. And it could be more dangerous for myself as well. Right? So I'm not saying that it doesn't protect people. It absolutely does. But all that really means is, a lot of times, all that really means, especially if you have some sort of altercation or you're into it with somebody, all that really means is, oh, I can't get close to him. So let me just stay at a distance and aim at him, right? Let me just stay at a distance and send the bullets his way, right? You get what it is that I'm saying? So yes, even though it does save lives, right? Just because you have a weapon doesn't mean that it's going to save your life. It does not mean that it's going to save your life. Straight up and down. Right? And again, it's not about not having your weapon. It's not about not protecting yourself, because it's your constitutional right for everyone to have, or everyone within reason. I would say everyone within reason, because people who are unhinged, yeah, they're a hazard to themselves. I don't think they should be able to have those weapons. There absolutely should be special cases where people should not have weapons. right? So I was about to say everyone, but everyone within reason, right? Kids shouldn't have it, even though it's in the Constitution. You're not going to give it to your child because it's their constitutional right. You're not going to give it to a 2-year-old because it's their constitutional right. And there are other people who are mentally 2-year-olds, so you can't give them the weapon as well, right? So that's it. That's all we're saying, guys. Can you swim, though, says Guts. I'll let you use your imagination on that. I don't agree, Metal Corpse. You speed? Racist, says. What an idiot. All right. Metal Corpse says it's a fact. What is he ranting about? Over 1 million. You got it, man, says Trenton. Trenton. All right, so 75 votes. Let's see what the voting looks like right now. Let's see. All right, so now it's starting to make a little bit more sense. 51% of people say gun control is not a bad thing. So America is starting to wake up, guys. America is starting to wake up. America is starting to wake up. I'm proud of you guys. Yesterday, I didn't hold back yesterday. I didn't want to do it, but I did it anyway. And I thought about it, and I was like, man, these guys are acting like idiots. So imagine, this is our most viewed content, right? In terms of, we had a lot of views last night. And here I am calling some of these people idiots, and then internally looking at myself and thinking to myself, man, all right, cool. And then saying it, actually said it as well, that maybe I worded it wrong. Maybe I shouldn't put gun control, right? Maybe Americans don't like gun control. Maybe it should be gun chaos, right? So is gun chaos a bad thing? Right? Should we have gun chaos? Is that a better question? Does that make more sense to you guys? Does that make more sense to you guys? Because if you put control next to gun, Americans do not. Why do we not like that? It's a good thing to have control, to have self-control, to have control over, your impulses. That's really what makes you a man. That's really what society is supposed to be about. Right? That's the reason why we have the society that we have. Right? Live save. Guns don't kill, people do. Okay. He says, dude, you can only know what it is. You can only know how it is to live in America. Now, actually, I know what it is to live in the Caribbean as well. So, yeah. And it's chaotic there as well, right? It needs to be gun control there as well, right? 100%. 150%. Right? Because in some of these cases, in some of these places, the people that have these weapons don't have any regard for anyone. They don't have regard for anyone. I'm going to be completely honest with you, right? So I've also seen it from that perspective, right? And I've lost people to gun violence, right? And I've been on the receiver. I've had somebody come and bust shots at me before as well, right? My Uncle Romeo, my friend, R.I.P. to my Uncle Romeo, my mother's brother. R.I.P. to Orain Watkins, 16 years old, right? Just a month older than me when I was a kid, right? My best friend, he and I used to pull up the basketball hoop and go dunking in his backyard. He used to be at my house. We used to be playing PlayStation. PS1, by the way, right? I used to be at his house playing PlayStation. We used to listen to music together, right? And boom. Had dreams of becoming a pilot. He had dreams of becoming a pilot. 16 years old. Right? So guys, it's just one of those things. I do think that, yes, there should absolutely be more control when it comes to using these weapons. There should be control when we're using the cars. There should be control. There should be more control. Right? Plain and simple. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, everyone. Sorry about that. Unless it's me, says This debate has been 50-50 since before any of us were born. I don't know if it's 50-50. I don't know if it's 50-50. And I don't know what it is that should happen for people to actually understand what it is that we're trying to say. Don't be rebellious kids about this, right? It's in the best interest of everyone that unhinged people, right? People with the mind of 2-year-olds do not get their hands on weapons, right? Because they completely lack empathy. And they don't give a crap about you or a crap about anyone else, right? Right? Because they haven't developed in that way yet. So yes, people like that should not have weapons, right? I had somebody spray at me, right? Somebody that I was kind to. It's not because I did something crazy to this person, right? But I feel like that person underestimated me, right? I do. And to be completely honest with you, that's why I stand in front of you guys. I know for a fact that there's something watching over me, right? Because I don't know how I made it out of that situation. I had to get aggressive, and I had to make it out of that situation. And I did, right? So there's some spiritual force that kept me here, right? And this happened over 14 years ago. This happened in 2010, right? So it's going on 15 years because it happened in the winter of 2010. 2010, maybe early 2011. So 14 years. We're just going to say it's 14 years because it was around January of 2011 or December 2010. In London, what's going on, my brother? How are you today, Anime? In London, the prevalence of firearms in the hands of unauthorized individuals possesses a significant threat to public safety, resulting in frequent indecent incidents, I'm sorry about that, of gun violence. Okay, thank you so much for sharing. Auto delete file says, no, not in America. The knife gun argument is telling me you are dumb. All right, MD. Well, your argument is actually telling me that you're dumb, to be honest with you. Your lack of empathy is telling me that you are dumb, right? Whatever your opinion is, doesn't really matter. Whatever my opinion of you doesn't really matter. Does that really mean you're stupid? Probably, right? But it's probably not a good idea to really sit down here and listen to somebody that you think is dumb. That doesn't make any sense. So you know who that makes stupid? It makes you stupid, sir, right? So think about it. If I think somebody over there is stupid, I'm not going to give them any amount of my time because you know what? I'm going to absorb that energy and I too will be on that same frequency and that same vibration as that individual. So why would I waste my time paying attention and listening to people that are stupid? So here you are, good sir, paying attention and listening to someone that is stupid. What is that? What does that make you, good sir? Think about that. Think about that. You're free to go. Trust me, when I won't even ban you, but you're free to go. Metal Corp says, do the research. This guy is spewing opinions not based on any facts, says auto delete file. Fair enough. Well, we did talk about some facts that happened in Georgia. That happened on Wednesday, right, of last week. So that's a fact. The other fact is yesterday in Kentucky on I-75, another individual unhinged injured 5 people. That's another fact, right? On Friday, right, there was another kid went in the bathroom, shot another kid in Maryland. That's another fact, right? So those are some facts for you to really sit down on. Have a good day. What else do we have to say? Oh, okay, so we have the gun control enthusiast in here. He is bullshitting every day. You're right about that. You're right about that. Every single day I think about how can I wake up and bullshit. You're free to go, though. You don't have to. I'm actually going to save you. I'm going to save you from the bullshit, all right? I'm going to save you from the bullshit. You have a wonderful, wonderful time not listening to the bullshit every day. See, look at how kind that is, right? I would just help somebody to not listen to the bullshit every day. Bless yourself, man. Bless yourself. Bob Marley, is that you? Big up and RIP to the legend Bob Marley. Big up to Bob Marley. But no, this is not Bob Marley. Why you at a lake touching your pee-pee? Okay. Yeah, this is a bottle of water. um, get some facts, then this would be meaningful, says auto delete file. So auto delete file, I will get some facts. You're absolutely right. The fact is, you're no longer a part of this community. That's a fact right there for you. Easy fact. Look at that. Look at that, guys. People in the UK are being shot all the time. It's never in the main news and only in the local paper. Okay. Someone says Bob Marley. This person, John J. Whatever it is. I'll see you later. You know what that is? That's community control, guys. You see that? That's what we call community control. Look at this guy right here on this boat. I saw when they were pulling up. See that? Look at that. That's life. That's life right there. It's a guy. He has some women with him. He's listening to some music. He's on this boat, right? And they're having a great time, right? I saw when they were pulling up here and they put the boat on here. It took them about an hour and some change. Was it about an hour? Yeah, I'd say right about an hour. Maybe a little under an hour that they pulled up and now they're on the water having a good time. So big ups to those people. Denmark is an ethocentric society, says Metal Corpse. A weapon who's literally I think every home in the countries have led 10 knives. So it's like saying more people getting killed by cars than sharks. Your logic is gone. What? What? What exactly are you talking about, good sir? We're talking about mass shootings here. We're talking about the mass shootings that have happened all across America. We're talking about the mass shooting in Kentucky, the mass shooting in Georgia, right? We're talking about kids bringing weapons to school and bodying people. And this is your argument. But you know something? But you're thinking to yourself that you're making sense. And then you really have some nerve to sit up there and call someone else stupid. You really have some nerve, Mr. Danny MD, to really sit up there and call somebody else stupid. You really got some nerve. Because that AR-15 rifle, all you got to do is go, boom, press the trigger. You don't even have to have had any sort of training, right? You're in close proximity to other people. All you have to do is just press that trigger, right? And you're now a complete hazard to everyone that's around you, including yourself. And you don't even know what the hell you're doing. Right? So this is exactly what it is that I'm talking about. Because now you're flip-flopping. Because you're saying there should be gun control. But now you're using the knife argument to say that there shouldn't be gun control. You know what, sir? You know what? I'm going to move on from you. I'm going to keep moving down, right? Because I see you're introducing me to another side of myself, right? That I don't want to, because I think that argument right there, it triggered me a little bit. It really did. It really triggered me a little bit. Because the comparison to the mass shootings that we're talking about, right? And you're talking about knives. Again, people would use anything to justify their argument, right? It's not just knives that kill people. This rock right here, this stone right here, could kill someone. You could kill someone with this rock right here. You could kill someone with water. You could kill someone with a stick, good sir. So you using arguments to say, oh, knife, well, then we should ban knives then. Are you a complete idiot? I'm a little triggered right now, guys. I really am. Because the argument that this guy is using does not make any sense, right? And we're going to take off the spiritual hat and we're going to go completely third dimension right here, right? Because you're not making any sense, but you're just spewing, and thinking, oh, yeah, this'll get him. You're just standing behind your little keyboard. Yeah, this'll get him. This makes sense. You thought about that, and you thought that made sense, but it only makes sense to you, sir. Because anything could be used as a weapon, right? It's about control. Again, control. I could pick up the rock without using it to kill someone. I could pick up the rock without using it to do something to someone. right? But that rock in the hands of someone who's unhinged is a dangerous thing, right? So it's about control. Again, the argument is about control. And you guys keep using these bullshit arguments to justify why it is that you have a stance that goes against what it is that I'm saying. And then you have the nerve to resort to name calling. Both of us could do that. It doesn't make me more of a man to call you a name. It doesn't make you any more of a man, right? It's not going to change my opinion. And I know you're too stupid to get your opinion changed, right? See how that is? You see how I did that there? You see how I used your tactic? Name calling, right? Take it easy, my guy. Take it easy. Take it easy. Anyway, let's move on. I'm jealous of where you're at right now. Looks amazing, says Turbo Tony. You're absolutely right, man. Check it out again. It is absolutely amazing. You're absolutely right. There's a bridge over there, trains passing by. There's people, pretty much everyone is, I wouldn't say starting to leave because there are more people starting to come. But yeah, this is a beautiful, beautiful place right now. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Without 2A, you have no rights. What are you calling my country? Look, Danny's getting offended by someone calling his country something. You see, this is what it is that I'm talking about. Danny, I don't think this community is for you, man. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, right? This is a community of people who have different ideas from all over the world. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I didn't see anyone disrespect your country, to be completely honest with you. But it seems as if you don't have emotional control. That's what it seems like, right? So maybe I'm going to leave you on this channel. Maybe you could learn some emotional control on this channel, right? And I know I'm saying that to you while talking at an elevated, with my tone of voice being elevated, right? And you did trigger me a few minutes ago, right? But everything that I'm doing right now is controlled. So everything that it is that I'm saying right now is controlled, right? But the points that you're making and comparing knives and using this, that, and using cars and using this, that, and the third, yes, all of those things, but the degree of danger is what it is that we're talking about. And you do have control when it comes to cars, especially these modern cars, right? And that's why you have speed limits. And that's why people don't go 120 through the city limit, because it's dangerous. What? Look at the top of my thing just fell. Man, listen, man. Until I can throw a rock at 900 FFP, I will keep my guns, says ZC. ZC, we're not telling you to get rid of your guns. No one's telling you to get rid of your guns. We're saying gun control. We're not saying get rid of your weapons, right? If you have control over yourself, then by all means, yes, protect yourself, protect your family. If you have control over yourself, if you can control yourself and your own emotions, good sir. I don't understand why this is so hard for people to get. It's not a very difficult concept, to be completely honest with you. If you have a small weapon and the other person has a bigger weapon, the one with the smaller one will back off. It all depends. That's not in every case. That's not in every case. Not in every case. Sometimes it goes down to who uses that weapon first. So yeah, that's not in every case. We're not talking about dying and taking nobody with you. So we're gonna clip you. You're out of here. Sorry about that. That's community control right there. That depends on your inferring that both people are evil. Also, the Constitution was made with their generation of firearms in mind. Yes, you're absolutely right, Narav. It's that generation of firearms where they had muskets and things of that nature, right? You're absolutely right. Says, tell that to the Taliban. I think they forgot the memo. Guns don't kill people, says Kim Smith. Wow. Wow. Okay, brilliant. How enlightening. Danny MD, this is not about the Taliban. This is about guns in the West. He ain't getting it. Anime, I don't think you should be arguing with that guy because he's purposely trying not to understand what it is that we're saying here. Like, he's purposely trying not to understand what it is that we're saying. No spamming. Definitely no spamming. No spamming. Who would control them? Guys, I'm going to be around. We're only going to make this stream about another 10 minutes or so, right? I'm going to go through all of the rest of the chat. Hopefully I'm able to get through it in time. But this was a good conversation. This is a really good conversation. And yes, it got a little intense at times. I'm okay with that. Sometimes these conversations are going to get a little intense, right? Because people's lives are at stake. People are actually passing away from these things. So we do need to have some amount of emotional control, some amount of self-control, you know, in regards to the weapons that we're using, right? So, yeah, Danny MD and I had gotten back and forth with a little bit of name calling. And I'm all right with that. I'm cool with that. It's no big issue for me. I hope he's not too sensitive to, you know, get a piece of his own medicine. Right? But when you do unto others as you want them to do unto you, right? Plain and simple. So if it's okay for you to call someone something else, then it's okay for somebody to call you that, right? So that right there, that's a lesson for you to learn, young man or old man. I'm not even entirely sure how old you are, right? But, you know, that's just one of those things. States with the highest gun control has the worst gun violence, says Michael Warren. Okay, sure. Yeah. He's speaking from an angle of someone who's been traumatized, right? I get it. He said, I had my finger stuck in someone's lung. I saw small kids dying from gunshots, right? So is that the reason why you're now desensitized? Because it seems as if you are desensitized by these things, right? Because you've seen it happen before, right? I've seen some very traumatic things myself as well. You're not the only one who's seen traumatic things, right? But that doesn't mean because I've seen it means that it's okay. That doesn't mean because it's happened and I was there means that I have to be like, oh my God, I'm desensitized to it, right? So it's one of those things. It happened. It's not a great thing that it happened, but at the same time, should it have happened? Does that make it right for it to have happened? Right? And I get it. You have to have a degree of acceptance that it did happen, but that degree of acceptance shouldn't substitute for lack of empathy. Just because you've accepted that something has happened in the past that's traumatic doesn't mean that that's something that it just gives the situation a green light for it to happen in the future, right? We got to do better than we were in the past. I think today we need to be better people than we were yesterday. I wasn't always calm, cool, you know what I mean? And I wasn't always aware of the spiritual aspect of myself, right? Me, I was a very aggressive teenager. Very aggressive teenager. Very, very aggressive teenager, right? Maybe not to the degree of Colt. Maybe not to the degree of a lot of these other teenagers, right, that are doing certain things. But at the same time, I've seen things from that side of the fence where it's like, all right, cool. My impulses and my emotions and my, you know, being my testosterone and all of that sort of stuff, right? And sort of just having that level of aggression, right? So I've seen things from that side of the playing field, for lack of a better term, right? Without being without being extreme like this guy was. But that doesn't mean that at some point in the future, you don't start to grow as a person, as a spiritual being having a human experience, right? So I'm not the same person that I was 10 years ago. I'm not the same person I was 3 years ago. It took time for me to get to this point where it's like, all right, cool. I'm starting to see the world different now. I'm starting to see that sometimes how I interact with the world around me, the energy that I put out comes back to me. I'm starting to realize that now, right? And people don't understand that injustice anywhere and these things happening anywhere gives the green light for it to happen everywhere, including your backyard, including your front yard, including your home. Right? So that's the point that it is that I'm trying to make, guys. It's not about telling people they shouldn't have weapons to control their family, or not to control their family, weapons to protect their family. It's saying that we should have control over the people that have access to these weapons. You're not going to give a weapon to a 2-year-old, and you shouldn't give a weapon to somebody who's mentally a 2-year-old either. emotionally a 2-year-old either. It's just that simple. It's a moral issue, not a gun issue. It starts with self. Listen, Metal Corpse, I'm not saying it doesn't start with self. It does start with self. But if we're not exercising self-control, what are we going to do? The guy who shoot at probably thought you was Chief Keef. Uh, I didn't have dreads back then. I actually had cornrows. I had really long cornrows. So yeah, no, they didn't think that I was Chief Keef at all. That's cute. That's cute. Cute. Very cute. Very cute. I own 2 guns and never had a problem with problem. Why? Because I'm a law-abiding citizen, says Kim Smith. Hey, how are you today, Princess Lady? I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Just having a conversation, having some dialogue. Some friendly banter from my end. I don't know about the other end, but someone just said something that was quite funny. Let's see what the poll says now. So now people are really starting to have, now I'm proud of you guys. This is what I wanted to see last night. This is what I wanted to see last night. Is gun control a bad thing? 54% of people. Oh, no, actually, no, I'm wrong. Wow. See, I'm not even seeing what it is that I want to see right now. I'm not seeing what it is that I want to see right now. But at least I can say that more people, or the more percentage of the people that are in the chat right now, are saying gun control is not a bad thing. So more people are starting to. So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Danny MD, I just came on, read your messages. You make no sense with what you're saying. I don't think he's trying to make sense, Princess. Princess Lady, he's not trying to make sense at all. I would rather mental health services be funded more than gun control. Why can't we have both? Why can't we have both? Because yes, it does start with self-control and it does start with mental health, right? But we could have both, right? We can absolutely have both. I'm not even going to read this guy. I'm not even going to read this guy. I'm actually going to ban him because I don't know what he's talking about poo-poo and jollof rice. What does that have to do with anything that we're saying right now? He says, you just proved my point. I love the vibes here, says 22 RAC. Thank you so much. It was a little intense. I think today was the most intense that we've gotten on this channel, to be honest with you. The dialogue did get a little intense. I don't normally get intense like that, but an issue like this, yeah, I think it's warranted to sometimes speak at an elevated tone of voice when you're trying to get a point across. It doesn't make it any more right. It doesn't make it any more wrong, right? But sometimes you have to say things in a way that it sticks to people's minds so that they can understand a little bit better what it is that you're saying. And then they could actually see that, from a different perspective, that maybe they need to kind of revisit some of their thoughts, some of their feelings, some of their impulses. And hopefully, some people could kind of change their perspective a little bit. Hey, man, I'm going to buy a gun. Which do you prefer? Says Ghost Daddy. Okay. I know an American that has an AR-15 and told her husband not to get it registered. Wow. Where do the guns come from, brother? That's a great question. I don't know. I don't make or manufacture them, so I don't know. Maybe Smith & Wesson? I don't know. Colt 45? I'm not entirely sure. It's somewhere in America, right? I think in Georgia they have some of those factories. It's people like her that are the problem, says Anime. The other side of the story is Trimmy's dad locks the guns up in a safe so he can't take it to school, says Turbo Tony. Who? Timmy? Who's Timmy? Pickle Gun 1717 was considered a machine gun. It was not just muskets. that was considered in a 2A with it was arms. Okay. We're not saying that it was just muskets, right? We said muskets and things like that, right? They didn't have the modern weapons that they have now, right? They didn't have Dracos back then. That's what it is that we're talking about, right? They didn't have these small, submachine guns. They didn't have those back then. I'm sure of it. All right, guys. So yeah, I will be back later. I may do another stream before I come back on later. But I am gonna shake this spot now. It was beautiful. Thank you guys so much for having your opinion. Let me see the poll right before I leave. So 46% out of 137 say is gun. The question is gun control a bad thing? 46% of people say no, it's not a bad thing, and 54% of people say yes, gun control is a bad thing. So we're going to leave it right there, guys. Thank you so much for tapping in and tuning in. I appreciate everyone who has liked and subscribed. I will be back again later. I'm going to I'm going to enjoy the evening. I don't know where the evening takes me today, but I am upstate, so I'm going to immerse myself into the culture before I go back to the city. So I hope you guys have a magnificent day. I will see you guys again later. Take a look at this view once more, guys. Look at this view. As a matter of fact, look at this view. That's the sailing boat. That's the boat right there. That boat moves slow as hell. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I think they're just relaxing, right? So yeah. And the name of the city, I believe, is Newburgh, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I'll let you guys know exactly where this is later. But anyway, guys, I'll see you again at some point later, maybe around 11 o'clock, maybe 10 o'clock. We'll probably try to do it a little bit early, but I am up here, so I'm gonna kind of enjoy the culture a little bit and then go home. Anyway, guys, take care.